Hello, everybody. All right, let's talk about the Trebuchet. Honestly, it's a mech I've never really liked, but I tried a new tactic with it, and I gotta say, it's gained my respect. Hello, everybody. My name's Preston Poulter. Welcome to my channel, Lords of Iron, where we discuss all things mecha, and I've been playing a ton of the Battletech computer game. I previously reviewed the computer game, info card to check that out. As I said, it captures the essence of the board game. Now, I will grant that the two hit numbers are way high in the computer version as opposed to the board game version, and that makes it harder on mechs like the Spider, where in the board game, if it jumped 8 hexes, practically no one on the board is going to hit it, whereas in the computer game, you're going to hit it like maybe like a 30-40% shot. But I do like playing the computer game. It's enjoyable and it makes for cool visuals. So the tactic I wanted to try out is the Trebuchet. Now my main theoretical problem with the Trebuchet is I never had a good tactic for it. I'm used to LRM carriers being like these kind of heavier mechs which will be more behind the lance, but that's okay as the lance advances because they're in the back and they can fire their missiles forward. But here with the Trebuchet at 5'8", it can be leading your lance. So why does it need those LRMs exactly? Like, you can easily get into situations where you've moved ahead of the lance and, oh, hey, I'm going to engage that target over there, but you're more or less isolated and the enemy lance gets overlapping fields of fire on you and you don't have a lot of armor and then your trebuchet goes boom and it's never good. This time I thought I'd try a pincer move where you're engaging somebody on a different flank. I think there's a certain parallel to thinking about like the way legions fought and the way that a lance tends to fight. You need to keep a certain amount of cohesion and you need to be facing towards a common enemy. You know, just like in the old days where you had your shield and, oh, my enemy needs to stay up here. Because in Battletech, you have the rear armor, which makes you vulnerable. So I'm playing on this map, which is more or less a symmetric riverbed. Each end has a hill that kind of declines down to the river, which is in the middle. Fair enough, as you would expect, we can kind of stand around the river and shoot each other, and that's cool. But what I did was I took a trebuchet and a javelin variant, which had an LRM-15 instead of the two SRM-6s, and I think I like that one a lot better. And I moved them over around the left. And then as kind of the bad guys kind of came in there towards the middle, it would allow my fast-moving LRM guys to kind of circle around, and now I'm engaging them in front, and these guys now can fire their LRMs towards the rear armor and still be considered at close range because LRMs go an awfully long way. So I tried it. It had a smashing success. I could have had the entire lance survive if I would have been more conservative at my javelin. At the end, it was my 4 mechs against one single grasshopper, and I was just like, hell with it. We'll just have everybody to circle around the grasshopper, and the grasshopper, as it died, did a physical attack on my poor javelin, and it went kaboom. Still, I was pretty happy. As you can see, there's like 2 mounds, and I'm sending my fast-moving LRM guys, the javelin and the trebuchet, around to the left of that hill, and then we're engaging across this hill with the river in the middle. So the lance I ended up with was a trebuchet, a crab, a javelin, and a centurion. So the computer fielded a grasshopper, a great mech by the way, a panther, a jenner, and a blackjack. So the jenner's the only real fast-moving mech. So at the end of, say, turn 2, my fast-moving guys are over on the left, and the jenner is way out in front of its lance, and my LRM guys are already tagging the jenner, and it ends up losing an arm. And the trebuchet, it can just alpha strike and maintain its distance enough that, oh, next turn I'll just fire an LRM-15 at one of those heavier mechs. Because let's face it, if you can alpha strike a light mech, you might be able to take it out of the game. And that's what happened here. By turn 3, I had this 2-on-1 situation where the javelin and the trebuchet were just unloading on the jenner. And my heavy mechs that were kind of moving up, they could still fire like an AC-10 from medium range and connect. So the jenner was toast. Meanwhile, their heavy slow elements have kind of moved into position, but now the sea starts to form around them. It's like, do they want to really spend time engaging these fast-moving units that are shooting LRMs at them? Because again, we've got this hill in the middle, and the slow-moving units are in the middle, which is where the opponent tended to be. Meanwhile, the fast-moving units start to circle around. By turn 4, my javelin is well in their rear, firing and hitting the rear armor. And the trebuchets, they're standing on the side. So by turn 7, I had won the game, and the trebuchet had won a fair amount of respect for me. So there you go, just something to think about next time you play Battletech. This has been Preston Poulter with Lords of Iron. Thank you very much for your time. Take care.